What's up, guys? It's time for another weekly recap. It's the end of the week. I'm posting this on a Sunday, but I'm recording this on a Saturday. But this week's performance has been really interesting. Also, I'm trying out something new, so I think that my camera quality should be a bit better right now. But anyways, let's just dive straight into it. Let me just make this one smaller. Now, here's the thing, okay? Overall, I am profitable for the week. I have 4 losses and 4 wins, but the biggest win is a 1-6 RR, so that one would have covered all the losses in the first place. Now here's the thing, if I go to my dashboard, you will only see a couple trades. You'll only see 5 of the 8 trades that I took. Why? Because 3 of the trades that I took, which are winners, are observation trades. Now, there's a big reason, and that's a mistake that I make, why I didn't actually physically enter those trades, like why I didn't just click buy or sell, even though I know I should have. It's because I started hesitating. Now I will go into that a little bit more, but let's just dive straight into it, into everything that I have to share. I'm just gonna go through every trade from Monday to Friday, and the observation trades, I'm just gonna pull up the screenshots that I have posted in my community. So let's just do this real quick. Wait, I need to add this one. Boom, boom. Okay, this one, because I don't have them on TradingView anymore. That's unfortunate. But as you know, if you watch my videos, I like to trade GBP USD. It just really respects my strategy, and I know that it really likes to respect Asia highs and lows. This trade was a perfect example. We were bearish on the day, on the higher time frame. Scale down, I noticed that we have a 5 to 15 minute fair value gap where price was getting towards to during Asia session, and then we actually swept Asia highs that we also created early Asia session, like the early stage of Asia session. We swept it, we created an inverse fair value gap on the 3 minute, which was also an inverse fair value gap on the 1 minute, and I think, if I'm correct, even on the 5 minutes. So that's like absolutely perfect. Then we had a big displacement candle. We had a retracement, and that was actually my entry, or no, sorry. No, that wasn't my entry. We swept Asia high, then we entered, and we had a beautiful 1-6 RR. I called it, I nailed it, I knew exactly what was gonna happen. So the only reason why I didn't enter this trade was because I just hesitated. I hesitated way too much on my entry. I just kind of froze. So when I saw, okay, when you had the sell button, I just froze, and then it started going down and down and down and down and down. Now there was a pretty long trade. It's from the moment I actually wanted to enter, which was, let's say, 11:15 a.m. I got it exited at 2:30 p.m. So that would have been a 3 hour and 15 minute trade, but it doesn't matter because it was a beautiful trade. Sometimes the market just responds, it moves a little bit slower, but at the end of the day, it hit all my confluences. You see how it exactly respected Asia high, and since we were on a bearish downtrend, it went directly lower to the Asia low. So that's beautiful. I always like to target Asia lows if there is an Asia high sweep, and it makes sense for it if there's more higher draws of liquidity or fair value gaps, unmitigated fair value gaps to the downside. Now the second trade that I took, so there was the only trade that I took on Monday. Then on Tuesday, I took 2 trades, both of them were losers. Now these were pretty painful because this was just a shitty trading thing for myself. Like, my psychology was just so bad on this day. I was just mad at myself. I was just mad at myself for the trades that I took. I crashed out. I didn't want to do anything that day anymore. And I think it's not that I got stopped out that made me feel that way. It's just that I knew what I was doing wrong, and that's exactly why I also crashed out. First trade that I took, if it wants to open, first trade that I took was 30 minutes after market open, London session market open for Forex. We entered, let's see, we had a 15-minute fair value gap, and I was also not focused. I wasn't really looking at what would make sense. We had Asia high and London high, And to be honest, what I wanted to see here, it happened on the next day. I will show you that in a second. But all I wanted to do is I just wanted to, get a sweep, tap into the 15-minute fair value gap, get an inverse fair value gap, and then go to Asia highs and London highs, because there was also a pretty big unmitigated 1 hour fair value gap. The thing is though, the big mistake that I made is that even though we were really close to sweeping Asia lows, I didn't wait for that low. I was just impatient. I saw this liquidity sweep and then I thought, okay, oh, we have a big displacement candle, we're inversing, let me just enter, and then I just got stopped out within an hour. I was pretty mad at this trade, or I was just disappointed at myself that I didn't just wait, so my emotions were pretty much all over the place. And then we had the other trade, which made things even worse that day. Let's see. It made everything even worse that day, because then I entered this trade and this was just absolute garbage. I was so mad at myself that I was just looking for another trade, okay? Down here we had a 15-minute liquidity sweep, created a 3-minute inverse fair value gap, then we retraced back into it, I entered, we went down, it went pretty good, and then we got stopped out because we swept these lows. I didn't check if there were some unmitigated fair value gaps or strong draws of liquidity to the downside to actually go lower, but instead price just went up and up and up. And that actually led us to the next day, the day after, which was on Wednesday. Let's see. And I think that this one was, yeah. So here it actually happened what I wanted to see yesterday, okay? We swept Asia highs, we swept the London highs that I also mentioned before. Then we went into the 1 hour unmitigated fair value gap, where the 3 minutes inverse fair value gap after a couple of choppiness. And then we went down and we actually hit a 1 to 3 RR. But based on my strategy, since I like to see GBP USD go from Asia high to Asia low, I was just targeting Asia low for a 1 to 3, what was it? Yeah, it was a 1 to 4 RR apparently. I thought it was a little bit less, but it was a 1 to 4 RR. I got stopped out. And the thing is, eventually I got stopped out here. Then news came, it had this huge move up to the 1 hour fair value gap, and then it just dumped down. So it was a W in some way, because I knew that it was going to go lower. I just got stopped out. Market decided to do something else instead. News came, had a huge wick, and then it collapsed down. So both an L and a W for the day with just one trade. I'm not sad about this trade. I knew what I was doing. Market just decided to do something else. Then these were both observation trades. Now I'm pretty sad that I don't took them. Okay, I'm pretty sad that I don't took them just because I was only hesitating. These were two beautiful trades. They went directly to my take profit. I just didn't enter physically. Like I didn't click on sell or on buy. I don't think, yeah, they're both sell and one buy. But look, we were on a bearish downtrend. We actually had this liquidity sweep. Asia high was pretty high to actually go up. And we had this nice 15-minute fair value gap where we tapped into two. We tested it twice, 3 times actually. And then we actually had the last manipulation, which formed this 15-minute liquidity sweep where the strong displacement candle for a 3-minute inverse fair value gap. Then you have 2 very weak bullish doji candles. We had a huge wick up, and then we had a bearish candle down, and then we just went straight to Asia low. Beautiful trade, A+ setup. The trade took like, what, 30 minutes in total, something like that. And I'm really happy about this trade that I predicted it. I didn't place it, but I predicted it. Then we have this one, beautiful trade. I even wrote down what I was probably going to see in the first place. Like I predicted this, like, okay, we're gonna now just, we have this liquidity sweep. We tapped into this unmitigated fair value gap, higher time frame fair value gap. Now we're gonna get a move up. We'll get a manipulation down, and then we will have to find our entry based off a fair value gap, over an inverse fair value gap. Now, the mistake here was, again, I hesitated. But not only that, I also waited too long. What I actually wanted is, I wanted to actually enter exactly at this point where I had actually put my entry. all I want to do is one candle to just go down and they give me some rejection and then enter so it will go up. But it didn't. I just hesitated. We have this beautiful 3-minute inverse fair value gap. We even retraced back into this 5-minute fair value gap, if I'm correct. And then we went up and up and up and up and up. So this day was both two beautiful trades. It just didn't exactly give me, I just didn't allow myself to enter the trade for some reason. So yeah. Also, if you want to join the community, Trading OS, it's a really good community. We already have 18 members. We show up every single day. We share our daily DTRs. We are consistent. We have a Sunday call every single Sunday where we just hop on for an hour. We just talk about our last week performance and we keep each other accountable and we set ourselves up for success for the next week. Absolutely love the community. I love the people into it and I just love the consistency that is in it. But if you want to join, link down below, it's free to join. And then on Friday, we had 2 trades. I also posted a recap video on it yesterday on Friday from, if you're watching this on Sunday, I posted it on Friday, but today is Saturday for me. Took both a long and a short. First one was a W, second one was a loss. If you want to check a little bit more in depth about these trades, go check out the video. I'll put a link down below. But if I look at it, we had a liquidity sweep, we had a 3-minute inverse fair value gap, and we retraced it back into the 3-minute fair value gap. This wasn't my entry because we were already in a pretty strong move up from the continuation of ACE session, but I just decided to just enter already here. I didn't want to hesitate, but this was kind of like more, it reassured me a little bit more that we will actually go up because we had this strong retracement. Like this retest actually, and then I entered, we went up. This trade took me 3.5 fucking hours, 3.5 hours. So that was quite a long time, but who cares, we hit take profit. I also targeted these news highs, eventually it did hit, but who cares, okay? Who cares? We hit a nice 1286 RR, pretty happy with it. Then the next trade that I took was a loss. Not a bad trade. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Oh, I forgot to give stars. Come on. We were still in the uptrend. Okay, we were still in the uptrend, but we actually had hit news highs, which was for me the strongest confirmation that we will actually go down because that was the only higher time frame liquidity pool for me. And then we had more liquidity on the sell side. So I was like, okay, good point to actually go down, and I noticed a strong displacement candle. We had a 3-minute inverse fair value gap. I didn't wait for a retracement, which was my biggest mistake, which I should have done after actually, from actually coming at a pretty big bullish uptrend. I didn't wait for the retracement. I just entered, and within 12 minutes, I got stopped out, and prices went up and up and up. So overall this week, 4 W's, 4 L's. I'm profitable in the week if I took those trades as well. Gotta stay positive, you know. Pretty happy with the performance, but also not so much because I didn't enter. I want to say that for the biggest part, I did learn from last week's mistakes, which is, you know, staying a little bit more patient, detaching a little bit from FOMO, maybe a bit too much because I didn't even enter a trade. So yeah, I missed out on a couple of trades, but that's okay. You know, I'm not sad about last week's performance or this week's performance. I did better than last week, so I'm really looking forward to how next week is going to look like. I'm going to actually do like a recap for myself based on all the trades and all the journals that I actually posted tomorrow on Sunday when I'm actually posting this video as well. I always do the recaps for myself on Sunday where I just sit down and I just use AI to also give me a summary of how everything went and what I need to focus on next for next week. And slowly, little by little, I actually grow over time. I am thinking on actually picking up my funded account again, but I think I'm just gonna do one more week on demo just to kind of get a little bit more confident with my strategy, because I feel like lately I've been kind of confused on how I identify my bias and where my entries are. Even though I'm doing something good, I don't know what exactly I'm doing. good. Like why am I doing well? You know, I don't really understand why I'm doing well. And I think that if I just understand until like a certain point what I'm doing well, I think that then I can actually be a little bit more confident into jumping in the market and also entering trades, because then I have more confidence in, oh, I know what I'm doing, instead of just now I win a trade, I know what I did well, but I still have a couple questions in the back of my mind. You know, what could have I done differently? Or if I have a loss, what is the reason? Is it the market that just decided to go the other way? Is it like I read bias the wrong way? Is it that I had a shitty entry? Is it FOMO? Is it patience? I just need to understand my strategy a little bit more in depth. So that's the first thing I can say for next week, or at least that I will start with this weekend, is just double downing on how I identify bias and also how I understand my strategy. And besides that, it's been an overall good week. Nothing much to complain, to be honest. I didn't do as much work as I told myself I would, which is a shame. But yeah, we're just gonna continue. Let's see what next week is gonna bring us. If we go to Forex Factory, we have, not too much. Okay, we have GBP orange folder news, 7:40 in the morning, so that's still during Asia session basically. Then, oh, sorry, this was Sunday. Whoa. Monday, no news Monday, so that means either continuation or we have a lot of consolidation. So yeah, we'll see. Tuesday, only USD. Then we have Wednesday, Japanese bank holiday, so that's fine. Then only red folders after 2:30 p.m. Thursday, we do have GBP red folder and orange folder at 8 in the morning. And then Friday, we have only USD. So not much news actually. It's pretty good. It's going to be a good week, I think, for price action. Or it's going to be really, really boring. This week, it was either really boring or just really aggressive. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. And well, I'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah, thank you for watching.